But we're gonna keep it pushing now. We just found out that we will be getting a Saudi Arabia destination in 2025. It looked like we weren't with the movement of Crown Jewel going to Perth, Australia this year. It seemed like we were not going to be going over to Saudi Arabia this year, which kind of made sense because the Royal Rumble is going to be there next year. But Saudi was like, F that. We want a show. And we now have found out that Night of Champions is soon to be announced to be heading over to Saudi Arabia. Now, I just want to get y'all thoughts on Night of Champions going to Saudi Arabia and with a certain champion that has been crowned at WrestleMania. John Cena is said to be scheduled to be at Night of Champions.
Did they add a date?
We have not added a date. We have not added a date. No, most likely they're going to do a press conference to announce it and announce when. But it looks like it most likely will be maybe September, since we don't have a PLE during that time. I think they're going to exchange Bad Blood for this one, since we have Crown Jewel in Perth.
Yeah, that was in October last year.
Yeah,
Bad Blood. So yeah, that's around the same time.
Because when is Crown Jewel? Crown Jewel is what? October, right?
Usually, or November.
Well, I know
October. That's
November is
November's like Survivor Series.
Yeah. October 11th for Crown Jewel. So most likely Night of Champions will most likely be in in September, since we know SummerSlam is in August, or it might be July. So either July or September.
So did the Night of Champions replace King of the Ring, or are we not doing King of the?
Yeah, they said we weren't having the King of the Ring this year.
Huh.
Yeah, we're not doing
Interesting.
That's unfortunate because it's
enjoy
meant
it.
Something lately.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
Well, I enjoy it, but also too, I don't mind it lingering a little longer than just a year.
Okay.
And also too, I noticed that they didn't necessarily push too much of it after they've won, after they had their title shots and stuff. So it's very interesting to see as to how they'll move about that. But I do think they need King of the Ring, just because King and Queen of the Ring, just because of how we saw with the winners of the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania and the fact that they don't get the main event no more. It kind of takes that win, not take fully away, but it kind of diminishes the win at Royal Rumble a little bit more. Now it's just kind of okay, it's a title shot. So I don't know if that's the reason why they took Queen and King of the Ring away, because now it kind of falls into the same thing.
Well, what Money in the Bank is in July?
Yeah,
or something like that. So you have that too, I think.
Yeah, so this has to be in September. So Clash of Champions has to be in September if we're doing Money in the Bank in July.
Yeah. And I can see why King and Queen of the Ring aren't on the calendar for this year, just because you do have essentially the same concept a bit in Money in the Bank, right?
Yeah.
That could go for a year. But yeah, I mean, it's WWE doing WWE things, man. We expect them to go across the pond now. We expect them to go all over the world now. They've been doing it consistently for 3 years now? Not just the Saudi shows, but just everything else, 2-3 years. So, those places pack out. We watch them no matter what time of day. I'm glad it's afternoon.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be losing a lot of sleep in certain cases, depending on where and when.
Yeah, I'm glad it's probably an afternoon again on a Saturday. I'm here for that. And give me an afternoon pay-per-view any day. I'm good.
This might be in the morning. In Saudi,
I think usually
no, afternoon for y'all, morning for us.
Morning for you, yeah.
It'll be 8 a.m. Clash of Champions, and it's all right.
I still don't think I recovered from that Elimination Chamber in Australia that they had. What was it? Was it not last? Was it last year?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah.
That was fire. But
man,
I'm gonna ask Honey this first.
Oh God.
Now we know Saudi Arabia is a huge fan of certain wrestlers that they want to make sure are there to perform. Now, we mentioned this in the John Cena timeline. On a scale of 1 to 10, chances that John Cena will defend his championship against Logan Paul at Clash of Champions.
At Clash of Champions or Night of Champions? Excuse me.
Night of Champions. I don't know why I can call it Clash.
Can I jump in real quick? Would that show be like a champion versus champion thing? Or is it just because haven't they done that in the past too?
They have, and we know like in Saudi, these are more side missions as far as the main story. This is kind of like like fan fiction, like how we do a little bit. So that could also be a thing. But I know they have done it before. So
don't they have that title belt too?
Well, that was for King of the Ring, right? King and Queen of the Ring for them to get that.
No, because Cody and Liv won it.
But wasn't that Queen and King of the Ring?
I don't remember.
Good Lord, no, good Lord, bro. There's so much that didn't happen.
Because it was Gunther versus Cody that night.
Oh yeah, it was champion versus champion. I think that was a one-off thing, kind of like how they did the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would do that for Night of Champions. I feel like that's more like a crown jewel thing. Yeah, because wasn't it called the Crown Jewel Champions?
Mm-hmm. Crown Jewel Championship.
Right. Yeah, so they probably have that for Crown Jewel.
Okay,
but I recall saying on our Cena timelines that Logan Paul and Cena would meet at Crown Jewel.
I think I also said that as well.
But
this still counts.
Again, but then again, and this is what this is happening when this month.
No, this may be. Well, they haven't announced it fully.
Oh, they haven't announced when.
But most likely it'll be in September because this month we got Backlash. Then we go on the Saturday night main event.
And Crown Jewels in October. I mean, I think it's possible we could. Well, I know who we're definitely going to see. Out there in Saudi Arabia, and it would have to be Logan Paul. I mean, but John Cena and Logan Paul, it could be then. If not, it will happen at Crown Jewel.
Okay. Now, Deonne, I'm gonna ask you this: with this happening, is this the point where Cody Rhodes should get his rematch for the title, or do you see another stage more fitting for Cody Rhodes to get a rematch against Cena?
Yeah, I don't know if it's here because it's like you said, it's a side quest, man. It's a side mission. Like we rarely weave in like the reality of week to week into these shows, unless it's like a King and Queen of Ring who has like some outcome going forward. But I don't think this is a spot for him to get it back or a spot for him to do it. I don't think we've had like any title changes on these Saudi cards either. Like,
no, we have. This is when the Fiend won his championship against Seth over here.
Was that a Saudi show?
Yep,
that was Saudi.
Oh God! Oh, I forgot all about that.
Saudi, yeah.
Has that been the only time?
Oh,
that's it.
Yeah, like because I always consider them side missions, so I think I forgot all of. Think about it. I forgot all about that because I don't know if this will be the spot for him to win it back, and I don't mind him chasing a little longer too, considering John Cena's on his tour. We got Randy Orton coming up next. No telling who else might pop up. I want to see Cena with a good run with that title though. So maybe it's not this year, man, but it's only May.
I think that was the biggest title change that we've seen. I think like the tag team championship.
That's what I meant.
I think that's the biggest
title.
one. Yeah, I think that's the biggest one. Like as far as like titles that have changed was the Fiend beating Seth Rollins.
Well,
yeah, I don't think this might be the place for it to happen.
Didn't Bray? Well, never mind. We don't like to bring that one up.
Which one?
Super Showdown.
Does that count though?
Y'all remember a lot of these more than
it was for a championship.
It was for a championship.
It was for a championship. Bray Wyatt and Oldberg.
Oh, we're talking about that one.
That one. Yeah.
We don't talk about that one.
Hey, man,
I don't like to, but I'm saying
it was a last match this year too.
We don't talk about that one. But okay, so I will say this though. With all the current stars that we have, which champion, excuse me, do you think could steal the show? No, matter of fact, no. Let me ask this instead. No. I want to ask this instead. With this now happening over in Saudi Arabia, do you think that it's a good time to not only include these championships, but also NXT and TNA? Now that we have those things blooming, that partnership, should those championships also now start being included in Night of Champions?
Now that you mentioned it, I am very curious to see how Saudi Arabia would react to a Joe Hendry.
And Obafemi?
Oh, my Lord, stop. Yeah. Wow.
And Stephanie Vaquer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you think this would be a smart time to start putting those titles on the line?
I mean,
it's Night of Champions, right? Let's
why not? Yeah.
Let's do it.
I feel like Night of Champions should be about that.
But it also depends, like how many main roster titles do we have between the men and women?
I want to say what between
NXT men's.
No, just like Raw and SmackDown, just like the
Raw
main.
and SmackDown.
Yeah,
I want to say maybe 9 or 10.
Everybody get on that card. Does every title get on that card?
There's usually 5 or 6 matches.
This is Saudi, so that could change. It could be more than 5 for Saudi.
I think it's possible.
And especially the way they've been moving with not necessarily putting the tag team championships in defense on Night of Champions. If you decide that you want mid cards to just kind of remain on the flagship shows, you now have a spot. Because you have what now? That's the 2 men's titles, the 2 women's titles. You throw in NXTs, and then you throw in both TNA and the knockouts. That's 8 matches.
Huh?
If I'm TNA, I love to be included on this because their brand is growing again, man. Like it's good for them.
Yeah, I really would like to see Saudi Arabia crash out for Joe Hendry. I'm kind of curious to see what that looks like. And I know they probably go crazy. Because they love them in London, in Paris.
See Saudi believe.
When we don't get TNA, at least include NXT. I think if you don't get TNA, at least include them. Get Obo over there. Or
maybe just Joe Hendry. I can see just Joe Hendry. No disrespect to Masha Slamovich at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
For the pop, to Honey's point, I could see him. Woo! Night of Champions. Joe Hendry versus AJ Styles. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Joe Hendry versus AJ Styles for the TNA Championship at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia.
Oh my God.
Saudi is Elseworld, man.
That is a mouthful. That is a mouthful of a sentence that you just said.
Come on, man. London, Paris, Tokyo, America, Scotland, Canada, and Mexico.
Damn it.
Do you believe?
We believe. Even in presidency, we believe.
We believe.
In Joe Hendry.
I just want to see all the people on them couches just doing this.
Oh, man. Hey, if I could watch an event like that, I will love it.
They probably lose their shit. They probably lose their shit.
I think they would, yo. I really believe they would. I feel like it's something there that they're doing. And if you don't give me AJ Styles, give me Joe Hendry versus Drew McIntyre. Just the shit talking. And Drew ain't even got to go over, but just the preparation of it would be incredible.
And see, and the fans over there, they keep up with everything. So
yes,
the fact they've seen Joe Hendry on NXT, they've seen him at WrestleMania in a ring with Randy Orton.
Yes,
they're aware of who Hendry is.
Yeah,
let's put him on the card. Let's pop him. Let's put him in there and see what happens, man.
Yeah, so we'll find as we find out more about Night of Champions, we will of course let y'all know here on the Kayfabe Podcast. But as you can see from the three of us and here, we're very excited to see Night of Champions making its return.